Hi, my name is Taylor Fortmann, and I am a student at GCU. I am also a fifth grade teacher in Sparta, Wisconsin at Meadowview Middle School. Something that I researched for my action plan and something that really struck my interest was grading, specifically standards-based grading. So standards-based grading is when you have a standard that you are aligning your instruction to. This is something that really helps provide more of a way to assess students and know that they are understanding and comprehending each standard in a way that you can really prove that they understand it. Um, so something that I focused on for this research topic is that how effective standards-based grading is for students. Originally, I was interested in sort of a comparison of standards-based grading to traditional grading. And originally, I shifted my focus to more so narrow in on the topic of how effective standards-based grading is for students. Since this is something that my school is hoping to implement by 2025, and originally I just thought it would be more effective for me learning about the new way rather than sort of focusing on what was previously done as well. When researching for this topic, a few points were brought up that weren't necessarily discussed in my professional developments and training on standards-based grading. So before school started, this year, we did have some training on standards-based grading. We had a few professional development meetings where we were discussing the different parts that we would partake in, and also picking essential standards and having a focus on what we would like to achieve by the end of this year. It was very helpful and we learned a lot. And the main question I asked with my action plan is, what are the benefits of standards-based grading and how does it better support students? There are many different roles that play a part in that question. The biggest is the biggest way to make sure that standards-based grading is effective for students and helping them in a positive way is based on how the teacher is utilizing and implementing it into their classroom. The first step is that teachers need to have their essential standards picked out. The data that is collected for this action plan would be from the students. So originally with gathering our essential standards, starting off with a proficiency scale and implementing standards-based grading into the classroom, we would like to see how it's affecting students. So we would take it one unit at a time and collect our data based on how well the students are doing. And we'd also do a reflection on how often we're reteaching as well, if we are following all of the norms that we had put in place, the teachers, of course, following all of the norms that we had put in place prior to implementing into our rooms. The biggest part would be making sure that we're checking to see if students are being retaught, if students are having time to reflect on their own work and their progress that they are making as well. With the data that is collected, we would then have a reflection on what we could do to continue this growth. There are many stakeholders that would be involved in this transition to standards-based grading. First off, it would be all of my team, at least, if not each grade level set of teachers as well. With implementing standards-based grading, there are many people that would be involved in this process. The first would be the teachers. For fifth grade, there are 8 teachers in our building, 8 separate classrooms full of students. So the stakeholders would be the other teachers that are willing to try this and work on it as well in order to prepare to have this implemented into their classroom in the future. This is something that teachers could collaborate with and work on as we're learning as well. The biggest role for the teachers is to make sure that they're implementing this process correctly and to the best of that they can. As teachers starting something new, we understand that there's always going to be room for growth, and you'll see that in the data as well. The first lesson is not going to be as great as we're all hoping it could be, but after time, hopefully the goal is to really see progress in student work and student motivation as well. So the biggest role for each stakeholder is to have an open mindset and be willing to learn new things, be willing to implement new processes in their classroom. It's not that they're necessarily changing the way that they're teaching or the curriculum that they're teaching. They're just refocusing it to follow a standard, and to connect to a standard, which in return will help with the students' learning and their own growth. The time needed to implement this could be as long as we need. We may need more than one unit to help really have a clear reflection on how well it is working, but it could take 2 or 3. It could take the whole year. We could continue reflection on this in order to grow better as a professional and in our classroom to help the students more. It's really based on what the other teachers collaboratively come up with on what they feel is best for this process. If they need more time, then that's something that I think should be allowed. Overall, the expected outcome for this action plan is to see students' academic growth. We want to be able to know what the students know. We want to see that they are 100% understanding what we are teaching and not just being able to fill in the blanks or circle a letter. We want to make sure that they are able to problem solve and make connections and be able to collaborate and work with others as well. This is something that also supports life skills as well. It's a way that they can work towards something and not necessarily have it be a pass or a fail. It's something that they know that mistakes are okay and there is a way to go about mistakes and a way to grow from mistakes. And that is also with the teachers too. They have room for growth and they have room to build on something new. And this is something that can be easily implemented into their classroom in a way that they can change and make change for their students. Thank you.